6:16, and I'd like to call the Border Control meeting to order for February 8th, 2021. Barb, you take a roll call of, or excuse me,
This Barb.
Barb Byro. Can you please take a roll call?
Burke.
Here.
Riley.
Here.
Lycon.
Here.
Byro here. Zananovich.
Here.
Vaughn.
Here.
Okay,
They're all here.
let the record show everybody's in attendance. Tonight on the agenda, we have the bids for the Midwest Neighborhood Phase 4. Does anybody have any questions on this bid?
Excuse me. Usually
Yes, I do, Mr. Chair. Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Let me, before we get into that, Mike, let me see if Mr. Kroc would like to address everybody and let everybody.
No problem, Matt. No problem.
Maybe he'll answer your question. Dave?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so what we have in front of you, or what was attached to your information, was the bids that we took a couple weeks ago for the Midwest Phase 4 project. This is the East 104th Street section of the project. As you know, we've done 3 prior phases of this. So the estimate for the project was about 1.5 million. And as you can see, we had 8 different bidders that ranged anywhere from about 1.1 million up to almost 1.5 million. So a very competitive bidding environment out there right now. Several bidders that are on the first, second, or third bidders we've had many times at the city. So we are recommending that the Board of Control approve the contract with Trimore Corporation for the 1.123 million. I would note, just as a side note, that although we don't have many times the need to come back for change orders, anytime you see a bid that's $400,000 below the estimate, just know that there may be a possibility for that, because this is highly competitive, and I'm sure folks have been very tight on their numbers. So it's something we'll try to manage as we go forward, but it's just something I wanted to put out there just so everybody's aware. And Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you, Dave. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah, Mr. Kroc, on this proposal that they're doing, is this just a resurfacing, or are they going down doing pipes, curbs, catch basins, and everything?
Yeah, this is very similar to what we did on 102nd Street and Grace, as well as 100th Street. So this is all new pavement. This is new storm sewers, sanitary sewers. We're trying to fix a lot of the flooding problems in that part of the neighborhood, and this has been funded 100% by outside sources, Northeast Regional Sewer District and Ohio Public Works Commission, to try to fix some of the basement flooding we've seen in that area. So this is the 4th phase that we've done, but it's full scale reconstruction, Mike.
Also on the bid, as you said, he's almost $400,000 less than our highest bidder. So under the pretense that not pretense, but under the case that he does come back and his bid goes over 1.4, is there any recourse we have with the bidder that he has to bear a portion of that cost? So we don't, if it turns into $500,000 more, we're at 106 million now, 101.6.
Right. So the way we handle all these projects is, we get the bid in. There are all kinds of requirements for these bidders to follow, the low bidder, as would any of them. But we monitor their work very closely, and any change orders that go above the number that you see there would have to come back in front of the Board of Control for approval. And we work very hard to make sure that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened too many times. It does happen on occasion. But I'm sure that we're not going to come back with a number that's that high. On a typical, maybe 3, 4, 5%, maybe upwards of 10% sometimes might be a pretty large change order to a project. but typically we've been delivering these at or below the original budget, and that would be our goal here as well. But to your concern, anytime someone's $400,000 below the estimate and or another bidder, there's always a concern. But looking at those bids, we had a couple of other bidders that were about 1.2 million. So they weren't alone with that number. And that's what we'll try to hold them to.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mike. I know Barb Byro had a question.
Dave answered it, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Can I entertain a motion to accept the bid from Trimore Corporation?
I make the motion to accept the bid from Trimore Corporation as proposed.
I'll
Do I have-
second it.
Okay, on the motion made by Councilman Nanadovich and Councilman Vaughn to accept the bid for Trimore Corporation, Barb, would you take a vote, please?
Burke,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Lycon,
Yes.
Iro, yes. Nanadovich,
Nanavich, yes.
Vaughn.
Vaughn, yes.
Okay, let the record show that the bid from Trimore is the one that we're going to accept. And that is everything that is on the agenda for tonight's Board of Control meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make said motion to adjourn.
Second,
On the motion made by Councilman Vaughn to adjourn, and I believe seconded by Tim Riley.
Nanavich.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Oh,
Nanavich.
Mike Nanadovich, seconded by Mike Nanadovich. Barb, could you take a vote?
Burke,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Lycon,
Yes.
Iro, yes. Nanadovich,
Yes.
Vaughn.
Vaughn, yes.
Okay, let the record show that the meeting